Well, good day to you. Welcome back to my rather dreary little cottage in the damp and darkened neighborhood of Forgotten Hollow. Please come in. I suppose you may have noticed that our last season had ended rather abruptly with no real answers to the Sims slasher case. Mr. Goth had made some insane ramblings while in custody. Ones of alien invasions and manipulation of Sims through medical intervention. Quite mad indeed. It would take time to follow up and discover the truth to his plight, but now may I share another story with you. This one is interesting. It involves some little boats. Toy boats constructed rather handily by a craftsman. They will come to be quite of value, as you shall see. I do enjoy a good story. Might I persuade you to a cup of tea and a biscuit? No? Then sit a while with me. I am afraid I don't receive visitors much these days, as I am growing old. Who wants to spend their time with an old man's ramblings of his youthful adventures? You say that you do? Well then, please allow me to regale you with another of my tales of Detective Pootysims and the case of the little boats. I had decided to accept Mrs. Bella Goth's kind invitation to reside at one of her summer homes. It was quite luxurious indeed, and I was quite at ease staying there for a while. I had relieved myself from duty after the recent chase. My doctor prescribed some rest and relaxation for my well-being, and I, having many accumulated days of vacation and several weeks of sick leave, lent myself to his words. The place was stunning. A fully stocked wine cellar and gourmet foods served for supper. It had a nice pool and a calming hot tub. I was also privy to an assortment of rather fabulous automobiles. They had been part of Mr. Goth's private collection. I had been given permission to use any of them I wanted to. Of course I did keep my blue Bugatti, the one Bella gifted me. But I became partial to a little red number. It reminded me of the car driven by John Steed of the Avengers television show. You might look it up on the YouTube. It came with a staff. That's Mrs. Fungelberry. She had been in domestic service since childhood. Her family had sent her to chambermaid's school where she excelled in her trade. And this is my butler, Mr. Jimmy Bottoms. He was an old-school gentleman's gentleman, and kept my schedules free and my teacup full. I was grateful for their company. Our story begins with an unexpected visitor. He had obtained my address from Bella Goth, who suggested I might be of help in a matter. I invited him in and he explained his issue. It seems that he was an auctioneer, and was employed in Gruppy and Stevens auction house. He had recently auctioned some musical boxes designed as little toy boats. They had come in several colors. His concern was that he had been notified that one of those auctioned had come missing during delivery to its customer. A little black boat that played a tingling melody. His client had disputed payment, and he wanted me to help find the culprit. It seemed like an entertaining departure from my current holiday, so I accepted. He gave me his card, and I promised to meet him at his studio on the morrow, if that would be acceptable. I stifled a chuckle. I was now on the case of the toy boats. Ushered by my recent exploits. The following morning I left to go to his address. I drove the little red car, and longed for my own Mrs. Emma Peel. Again, look it up, it's a good telly show. I arrived at his studio, he ushered me in and began to show me the replicas of the little boats that had been taken. The ones here had several colors to them, but he had only sold 3 of them at auction. They were all black, and played a similar song. A patron ventured to join our conversation and mentioned a young woman at the auction that had been keen on obtaining them all, but was outbid each time. She had left rather disappointed, but the bidding among the well-heeled had exceeded her means. He had seen her leave in a rather expensive car, yet she had not chosen to bid well above £1,000 per boat. Curious. I secured the address of the successful bidders at the auction. 1. A Mr. Hunkle. I went to his mansion and found him in his study. Had he the toy boat that I might look at it? He was astounded. It had been stolen from his home not a few hours earlier. It was a favorite of his wife's, the reason he had bid such a high price. His collection of miniature items was interesting. And so was the fact that now 2 of 3 boats had been pilfered. I looked at his collection. Strange how the high end of society will spend such amounts of money, yet denied any assistance to the poorer unfortunates in society. I am afraid I will never understand human behavior, to quote Bjork. I was definitely confused by it. I took my leave. Strange someone would steal such useless toy of the exclusive. I went to the public library to do a bit of research on the topic. I browsed a book on music box construction and its origins. It contained several articles of the process of designing and implementing the mechanisms used to manufacture a delicate melody of notes. Each ribbon would need to be constructed with a delicate hand and a good knowledge of musical progression. A true occupation for a talented individual. It explained the tunes and melodies used and how to adjust their various tones. It was rather informative, yet also rather boring in its nature. But then again, I would always welcome any information on a topic I was investigating. I noticed it also included the types of tools needed for this development of a satisfactory product. It required several rather intricately developed tools to use and expertise to accomplish the end result. A dry and exhaustive read it was. I thought perchance I might take in a bit of refreshment to revitalize myself further. I left for a spot of afternoon tea at a quaint little shop downtown. I ordered my drink and it was diligently prepared by the counter's attendant. I sat by the window to think. Strange case indeed. What could connect this together? To my utter delight I was met by Bella. She was on an afternoon walkabout and had seen me in the window. I bid her good day, and we chatted aimlessly. Had I been contacted by the auctioneer? She frequented his establishment. I said I had, and I was on the case as we speak. She told me of Cassandra's studies. She was well, and wished to get together on her break. I said that would be nice. She suggested that we might leave to enjoy the pool at the summer house together. A novel idea. I welcomed her charming smile and did admit to enjoying her company, and her kind generosity to me. She teasingly said to hurry on, to not miss the afternoon's sun. We went to the house and dressed for our swim. I would enjoy a pleasant dip in the cool water in the heat of the afternoon, and we both hurriedly went about to have a relaxing and social event together. How could he leave her to face her peers with all this guilt? I reassured her that there was no shame. Not to worry a bit, as people will forget her as soon as the next newsworthy event occurred. She laughed. And like the day, I will be going now. And like Bella, I hope to see you soon.